Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Escondido, California. Yes, we moved today. Oh, what a day it was. First of all, even though Zeffy slept like all through the night, I was still waking up listening for her. Was she okay? Doing the mum thing. So yeah, I didn't get a great night's sleep, but she slept until 7:30 this morning. It's like, yes, thank you. We had no more rain last night, so I didn't have to worry about any leaks or anything, or listening to the shower dripping. And it's meant to be clearing up, so we'll start getting all of that stuff looked at. Yesterday was kind of rough, all the dripping and everything else. But I had a great start to the day. When I woke up around 6:30 and she was still asleep, I was like, I'm gonna lay here and read. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just, because the moment I move, she's gonna be up. And so I just thought, I'm just gonna see how long this lasts. I got to read, and so I laid in bed and read for an hour. I was like, yes. And my internet is at that place was driving me bonkers, because I have a group coming up on final payment and I need to send out their invoicing. So tomorrow's going to be working, getting all of that stuff done, because I haven't been able to do that over the last few days, because I personally haven't had very good internet connection. Even when I was in the corner bakery, the internet connection sucked, and trying to, send out bunches of emails with invoices attached just was not working. So that's all now taken care of. So then the big test came. So we got everything was all packed up, with the exception of Zeffy's food bowls and her crate. I put some music on. Somebody suggested I use Serenity oil since I don't have CBD oil. So I put a drop of that on the back of her, one drop on the back of her neck. And we sat and we talked for a while. We actually went for a bit of a walk this morning. Got a mile walk in, so that was good. We've now walked 2.5 miles, I think it was, when I checked earlier. So that's good. We got another walk in this evening already, as she's exploring this new place. And because I haven't really been here with a dog before, it was kind of cool, because I knew there was a pet area up here somewhere, and found this little gravel path that went down to this huge open area. Couldn't let her off the leash, but we spent ages just wandering around there for her to sniff and all that sort of stuff. She didn't do anything, but then it's a new place, so new smells, got to check everything out. But the test came when I had to bring Animal through here to Escondido and then take a lift back. And I checked with Lyft beforehand, and it's up to the drivers whether or not they're going to allow you to bring a dog in the car. So they said, basically, once a driver has been assigned to you, call them up, explain that you have a dog, and will they allow the dog in the car? And I was like, that's a lot of hassle, because what if they say no? I've got to get back here by a certain time to get Sparkles out of there because of checkout time. And I was like, bleh. So I had everything set up here. I had, she's had one of my shirts in there with her. We had the music playing. We had the Serenity oil on her. Put her into a crate, sat there with her, spoke to her, talked to her for a little bit, let her know what was going to be happening, that I'd be back. And then and then she finally settled down, curled up, went to sleep. So I escaped. I was ready to go. I just out the door. And before I'd even got to the driver's door of Animal, I could hear, and I was like, oh no. I very nearly went back inside and pulled everything out and brought her with me, but I thought, no, it's not going to be for long. I've got to get going. It's going to take me 38 minutes to get to Escondido, according to the GPS thing. And then I'll turn around and come back, so I'll be just over an hour. Yes, we can do this. So, God, my hair's a mess. I'm getting my hair cut on Tuesday. Thank goodness. Look at this. It's a mess. But anyway, so I got to Escondido, went to check in and all that, and explained, look, I know I'm early, but I'm dropping my car off here first, and then I'm going to go back and get the RV, so I've got to get the thing and all that. And they have a new manager here, and so when this guy comes and says, can I help you? I say, oh, you must be the new manager. And he's like, how did you know that? Because he's only been here like 6 weeks. And I said, because I knew you were coming in. I said, because I knew Jeff, who was here before, and I knew that you were coming in. And so we ended up sitting there talking for probably about 20 minutes. And this guy travels a lot. So we got talking and all that sort of stuff. And he found out I was from New Zealand and wanted to know more, where to go in New Zealand. I said, well, what do you like to do? And so we started talking about something, I like to go snorkeling sometimes, some places to go snorkeling, and I like to do this, that, and the other thing. So anytime he gave me something that he would like to do, I told him where in New Zealand to go to do it. So that was kind of cool. And then he says, you seem to know a lot about New Zealand. I said, well, not only have I traveled a good portion of it, I was born and raised there, traveled a good portion of it and all that sort of stuff. I said, this is what I actually do as a job, is create customized itineraries for people to go to New Zealand and Australia. And I said, I've never put anybody on a bus tour in New Zealand. The only time they've been put on a bus is to go from point A to point B, and they're using the bus system within New Zealand. It's not a tour bus; it's just a regular public bus. And I've had two couples go down on cruises where we've done extensive land before or after their cruise to give them more of an experience, because the cruise will start in Australia, so we'll do days beforehand in Australia, it ends in New Zealand. We then do an extensive land package in New Zealand for them. And he's like, wow, he says, I'm going to have to come see you when it's time for me to go, because his next trip's going to be to Bangkok. He's going on his next trip to Bangkok. So that was kind of interesting. So I got back here, had a great Lyft driver on the way back. I mean, I got to tell you, I have been very blessed with the Lyft drivers that I have had. This guy was Ahmed, and he was originally from Jordan, and he told me the area in Jordan that he was from, which is up in the northern area near the Syrian border. And we just had a great conversation. I said, because I'm looking at going there in 2021, I said, what is the best time of the year to go weather-wise? And so he said April, May, and September, October are the two best times to go. I said, okay, I'm going to shoot for April, May of 21. And I said, now, what are some of the great places that I can go to and all that sort of stuff? So as we're driving, I'm sitting there on my phone and I'm taking notes as to places to visit when I go to Jordan. And he was telling me some of the places. I said, okay, now those are all the well-known places. I said, I want to get off the beaten path. I want to learn the culture of Jordan. I want to experience that culture in Jordan and that sort of thing too, and meet some of the locals. So then he's telling me other places to go. And I said, now, where were you born and raised? So then he was telling me about the place that he was born and raised and how beautiful it was up there. And so he was even spelling out place names for me so I can find them afterwards. I thought, this is awesome. But we were having a great conversation about, and he had, oh my gosh, I've totally forgotten the names of them. He had the beads there that he's of Muslim faith, and he has the beads there that they use that are similar, and they use them similar to how the Catholics use their rosary. And so he was explaining the beads to me and how they work around the beads. And so I found out he was from Muslim faith. But then we're having this whole conversation about different beliefs, different religions, and respecting each other and all of this sort of thing. And it was fantastic. It was a phenomenal conversation. It was one of the best conversations I've ever had with a Lyft driver. It was amazing. So now I have all these places to go to in Jordan that are not regular. I've got some well-known tourist spots, and then I've got all of the stuff where the locals hang out, where it's safe for travelers to go and that sort of thing as well. So that was kind of really cool. He says, he says, don't just do Israel. And I said, because when I go, I want to do Israel and Jordan. And I said, and I want to do like a Bible tour through there, because I know that there's some areas mentioned in the Bible that are actually now in Jordan. And then we're talking about what were we talking about? Oh, I can't remember. We're having those great conversations going backwards and forwards about culture and religion and beliefs and all of this sort of stuff, and respecting each other. And, we may not agree with other people's beliefs and stuff, but there's no reason why you can't respect that person and just meet them where they're at. And you may not agree with them, but meet them where they're at. Don't judge them. It's not your place to judge them. That sort of stuff. So it was just an awesome conversation. We were having so much fun. And then we get back, and so I thanked him for everything. I opened the car door. I stepped out, and I'm like, oh, crap. I should be doing that the whole time. And I was like, oh, no. So I sent Ahmed on his way and went inside. And she's like going berserk on her crate. Her whole back end's going like, whoa, 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 whoa. I let her out of the crate. She's running up and down the RV. She's got like up onto the couch, and then we're over here, and then we're in the bedroom, and then we're over there. And we were just all like a hyper energy release with no direction. It was just like she was all over the place, and she's jumping up on stuff, and then she's like sit there for like 2 seconds, and you think, oh, she's stopped. Nope. And then we're off again. So she did this for like about 15 minutes, just going nutso. And so then I was sort of like, okay, I have to pack up. So I put her on her longer lead that she has, and it's like and there's a 6-foot lead. My other ones are 4-foot leads. So I put on a 6-foot lead, tied her to where the tow bar thing attaches to the back of the RV there. And thought, okay, got her securely tied and all that. She can walk around here and she can see me disconnecting the power and the water and the sewer and putting it away, and got clear view down the side of the RV on that. She can come over to this side of the RV and she can see me putting away the stuff that goes on that side and taking off the wheel covers and all of that. Not a problem. So I'm doing all of this and she's going backwards and forwards and keeping an eye on me and every now and again, and just to say, I'm watching you. And so I just talk to her, tell her what I was doing and that sort of stuff. And at one point I'm carrying the wheel covers down to put in the cabinets underneath, and she goes running past me. I'm like, what? Whoomp, with my foot on her lead, and she comes to a screeching halt. I says, where are you going? She had somehow managed to undo her knot and thought, freedom, yes. And I'm so thankful she came down that side where I was, because if she'd gone the other side, I don't know how long it would have taken me to catch it, because she flew past me. So then I was like, okay, that's that. So I put her back in the RV and said, you're just going to have to suffer with it. And quickly finished off what I was doing, went back in there, and of course she's going berserk up and down the RV as soon as I walk back in, and that's her way of greeting, I've discovered. And then it was time, and so I had the passenger's chair all set up with her, with her mat from inside the car that she uses, and I had her harness there for her and all buckled up, and I just needed to clip her into the harness and we're good to go. Well, I clip her into the harness and she hopped straight off the chair, and she's like dangling there a little bit in her harness. She's got her back legs down and her front legs are going like this, and I'm like, oh, no, we're not going to do this. I put her back on, and so then she jumps back off again. She was not going to stay on there, and I'm like, crap, I can't have her running around like this. And so in the end, I extended one of the straps on the strap so that she was standing, so she was able to lay down between the seats, and she seemed to be happy there. It's like, okay, so I then got her bed and put it between the two seats in front of the engine hump, and she laid there for the entire trip, got as close to me as she possibly could. She'd put her head up, I just reached down, and I can just reach down and scratch her head. She would rest her head on top of the engine bump and all of that sort of thing, but she wasn't quite sure what to do when the walls started closing in, when we bought this area here of the RV and pulled the sides in and everything else. She was like looking at that and not quite sure what it was. And but we had a great run through from Temecula through to Escondido, and she was just gold. I mean, she was happy there, and I thought, if that is where she wants to lay when we're on our road trips and stuff, you know, still have the passenger seat, she can get up, she can jump up on there on the passenger seat, it's not a problem. But as long as she's got her harness on and she's plugged in, attached to the seatbelt and whatnot, so all safety things, then if she wants to lay there between me, the two chairs there next to me, I have no problem with that, as long as she's in her harness. And so, you know, we had this great conversation as we're driving along, and she just slept, which was kind of cool. Got back here, I had animal parked in the in the site here, so I needed to move it out. And one of the women who was here from my previous visit, who I've been keeping in contact with over text messages, her husband's been having some health challenges and stuff, so I've been keeping in contact. She comes up to me and big hugs and everything else. I was so good with hugs. And she got to and we look up and she goes, oh, she said, is that your new dog? And I look up and there's Zeffie. She's standing on, because on top of the hump there's like a little shelf thing there with cup holders that don't really hold cups, just got, and she's got her hindquarters on that. She's got her front paws up on the dashboard, and she's looking out the window like, where are you? Where are you? I can see you. Why aren't you in here? And I said, yeah. I said, that's her. And so so she said, oh, do you need to park your car somewhere? I said, oh, I'll just park it that empty. There was an empty site a couple of places down, so I parked the car in there and then backed Sparkles and got her all situated, got the feet down, and then she came over and talked to us some more. And so I brought Zeffie outside, and Zeffie started sniffing around and all of that. And she actually held on to Zeffie for me while I went back to turn the ignition off, because the feet were down, the sides were out, just needed to connect the power, and done everything I could with the ignition on except put down the front blind. And Zeffie was not going to stay out there with her. I was sort of like, where are you? And she came looking for me. It's like she just does not want to be out of my sight, doesn't want me to be out of her sight. So after I caught up with Janet, I then got everything sorted out, and I made Zeffie stay inside, and I had all the windows open, all the blinds open, all the windows open, and I'd call out to her so she knew where I was, and I'd see a little face up at the window pressing against the screen looking down at me going, poor little thing. I'm going to have to start doing more on the going out for a few minutes and then coming back, and going out for a little longer and coming back. So I'm going to have to start working on that. But yeah, it was good. And then we're both like a little tired and all that. But then I looked at the time, it was like 2:30, and I had a connection to make through Dots at 3 o'clock for a new position that was opening up within Dots. And so now I am officially the the mastermind coordinator for the diamonds within Dots. So stepping up into that leadership role there. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be great because I love masterminding. Ooh. And Elaine is just awesome to talk with, and so she's got like 3 dogs in the office there with her, and they all come up to the camera and get to see them. So we're talking dogs, and then I finally got up and got Zeffie and brought her over so she could see her, and yeah, so we had great conversation, nutted out a lot of stuff. She has some awesome ideas. I can't wait to implement some of her ideas for her. So I'm going to be helping put together the all of those that have signed up for the diamond package. I'm going to be helping for those that want to be part of mastermind groups, help organize the mastermind groups, like set them all up. Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun, and train the leaders of the mastermind groups as well. So I'm going to have another meeting to work out exactly what we're going to be doing with that. So it's all exciting stuff, and I'm looking forward to it. I've been out of networking groups for so long, and the only reason that I joined up with Polka Dots Powerhouse was because they have an online chapter, so you can be anywhere in the world. You just need to sign in on their twice-a-month meetings, and if I'm in a place where there happens to be a physical meeting going on in that time, I'm able to go in and join it with that chapter and say, hi, how are you, and all that sort of stuff. And so yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. I've already made some great connections. My planner is filling up with other connections, and in my time trade, I only have certain time slots dedicated to do those connections, and they're filling up fast. I got one woman who said to me, she says, look, I'm heading out of town. I don't get back till hen, but your calendar isn't showing up for January yet. And I said, no, I don't have it open that far in advance, just through the end of December. I think they're halfway through December. I think I've got it set like 4 or 5 weeks in advance. So, and then I've got other ones saying, I can't find anything in your calendar that works with me. These are the dates and times I'm available. If you have anything that comes available in those times, can you please let me know? And so it's cool because I'm just super excited. I'm excited, can you tell? And one of the things I'm trying to teach Zeffie to do is to ring bells before she goes out. And I've got the bells that go on the door, but of course you got to go down the steps to get to the door. So I've got them laying on the floor next to the steps, at the end of the counter next to the steps. If you have a look on my Facebook page, there's a photo of her looking at them with an arrow pointing to where they are. And it was hilarious. I'm sitting there on the couch, and she's like, she goes over to the edge and she like goes down a couple of steps, and she's like looking at something in the corner there, and she kind of glances up at the bells and looks back over because she doesn't want to get caught looking at the bells. They are beneath her. And then she comes out and she'll sit at the top of the steps and just look at the door. She had this intense concentration on the door, and then you'd see her turn her head slightly at those bells and then look back at the door. So to say, well, I'm looking at the bells, you can open the door now. And I just completely ignored it. It's so funny. And then she'd go off, and then she'd come up on the couch and she'd down for a bit, and then she'll get back up and repeat this whole process again. So like, she'll look at those bells. I am not going to ring those bells. And so then I finally thought, well, screw this. I need to eat. I need dinner. So I was over in the kitchen area here preparing dinner, and she gets her nose right down, and she actually touched a bell. It didn't actually ring, but the fact she touched it was like, good girl, put the leash on it, took her out. She didn't really want to do anything because she just walks around the RV, sniffs the site area next. We're on a pretty large site here, and then goes back to the doors and say, okay, let me back in. And of course, she tries to climb up the stairs. There's 2 stairs outside, and she tries to climb up on those so I can then open the door. But she's got to be on at least the bottom one with her head down so it doesn't get bopped by the door as you open it. So we're getting there. We're getting there. So it was sort of like a victory. Yes, she touched the bells. She may not have rung them, but she touched them. Yes, victory. Now if I can just get her to do the same with the separation stuff, it would be really good. Because I know I'm going to have grocery shopping coming up sometime soon. And it's sort of like, oh, that's going to be fun. And we're a little closer to other RVs here, although, is it that way? I have an empty slot this side, and the person in the RV on this side is currently away at the moment. So it's sort of like I have a bit of a buffer. But then across the road, I've got RVs all the way down. It's sort of like, yeah, she's kind of loud. So yeah, so it was good to leave Temecula behind. I mean, it's a great place to go for weekends. I don't know if I would ever stay there midweek again because, you know, there was me here. There's an RV across the way from me. It was like 7 or 8 sites down to the RV that was down there. And then way across on the other side, there's another RV. So we had like 4 RVs between us. And at night, I don't know what creatures are crawling around there, but Zeffie and I were out there like 11 o'clock last night, and we could hear something rustling up in the trees. And I've got the flashlight out there. I'm shining up in the trees. We can't see anything, but it sounded like something was walking on the leaves. And Zeffie's like, and her ears are up, and she's like looking intently in this area, and like so concentrated, and she's like frozen. And I'm just sort of like, yeah, we're not doing this, are we, Zeph? And Zeph like looks at me and dashes to the door with me right on her heels. So yeah, it was an adventure going out at night. But on the weekends when there's a lot of activities and stuff going on and the place is all but packed, it was great. Felt a lot safer out there at night than in the middle of the night of these last few nights when there's been 4 vehicles, only one kind of in spitting distance, and it was kind of spooky out there. But the stars last night were so awesome to see because the clouds had gone, the rain had stopped. I had got no rain last night. The dog slept through the night. It was a good night, and the stars looked stunning last night. That's all I can say. That's one good thing about Temecula is that you're out there and you can get a good look at the stars. So if I go back there again, it'll probably just be for weekends. I don't know if I would do another weekday stay at that place, but you know, you got to try these things. You don't know unless you try. But anyway, that's it from me. Tomorrow I have four James Bond movies to recap for you. So I'm probably going to I may do separate lives for each one throughout the day. So we'll be starting with Octopussy, then A View to a Kill, which was Roger Moore's last movie. Then we've got the 2 that Timothy Dalton did, which is Living Daylights and License to Kill. And I will tell you this, the stunts that they do in License to Kill are awesome. They even have a separate featurette in the special features about the Kenworth trucks that they did these amazing stunts with in License to Kill. So amazing stunt work coming up. And then what was really interesting is that in Living Daylights, they talk about how they ended up with Timothy Dalton and some of the process and some of the people they were actually looking at doing, including a New Zealander. So who was it? You will have to tune in tomorrow to find out. So keep an eye out throughout the day between appointment calls and invoicing. I'll get on and do a quick recap on some of the James Bond movies. So tonight, I'm going to go watch GoldenEye, first Pierce Brosnan one. So have an awesome evening, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will catch you guys tomorrow. Hekonera.